Today's another travel day for us. We're leaving our site in the Black Hills National Forest in South Dakota to go visit Jenny's grandparents in Idaho. We're gonna stay with them for 3 or 4 days before continuing on west into Washington State. We usually like to hook our truck up to our trailer the night before, get all ready to go so that in the morning we can just wake up and leave. But the site we're in right now is so unlevel. The only way that we are actually able to get our trailer level is by backing it up the one side up onto the raised ruts on the side of this forest road. We actually thought about digging out the opposite side so that it would lower it down, which we've never done before, but Jenny had the idea of backing it up onto a raised section, which actually ended up working out perfectly. We've really loved this campsite in the Black Hills National Forest in South Dakota. It is like the perfect staging spot to explore this whole area. You know, you've got Mount Rushmore and the Wind Caves National Park nearby, and it's like right in the middle of the national forest, so you're not really all that far from any point in this forest. Of course, Jenny is going to be making a complete campsite review video of this site like she always does, and she's also going to be posting a full review to a new campsite app that we've been using called the DYRT. It is by far the most extensive campsite finding app that we've ever seen. I'm telling you guys, you've got to check it out. It's free for both Android and iOS. However, there is a paid pro version that you can get if you want to unlock a lot of extra usability, like offline campground searches and offline downloadable maps, which is a huge deal if you plan on going into the national forest or deep into BLM land like we do, because out here, you know, signal can be pretty spotty. So if you can access that information offline, you are just way better prepared. The Pro version will also get you discounts with a number of major camping gear manufacturers, as well as campgrounds all across the country. So over time, it'll basically pay for itself. And they've also got some upcoming features that we're really excited about, like a road trip planner, so that in the app, you can plan out your entire route, you know, all the stops that you plan on making along the way, you know, stops for food, stops for gas, and it will tell you exactly how long it's gonna take you to get there, so that just in one app, you can have your whole route planned out. And also, they're gonna be coming out with BLM boundaries on their app. So now there's no more questioning whether or not you're currently on BLM land or not when you're trying to disperse camp. I'm telling you guys about the DYRT because I am so excited about how functional this campsite finding app is. We didn't even know it existed until recently, and we just started using it. And we know it's gonna make finding campsites and campgrounds so much easier for us. And I talked to them and was able to get a 10% off promo code for you guys on their Pro version. So go ahead and use this promo code and get 10% off. Oh, hi, sweetie. Hi, puppy. We all ready to go?
Yep, all ready. Just gotta get the animals and the stuff in the truck. Good to go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's
get
go.
on the road.
Let's go. We have made it into Wyoming. This is our first time ever being in Wyoming. I believe I have never ever been to Wyoming before, even when I was a little kid and my parents and my grandparents would take us somewhere, so this is exciting. Except that it's insanely empty. There's like nothing out here. It's really pretty rolling hills, which is is really nice. It's kind of relaxing to watch while we're just driving along in the middle of nowhere, but it's actually much emptier than I expected. I really honestly did not expect it to be this empty, and it is. It's like nothing but grazeland with almost no houses. I think that there's a little house passing us on the right over here, and that is the first time I've seen a house since we left the town that we were in, which was over a half an hour ago now. So yeah, it's really empty out here. As David said earlier, we are on our way to go visit my grandparents, and we haven't seen them in a year and a half. And after that, we're gonna go and visit David's brother and his fiance, Amanda. And we're really excited to visit family, and we are so glad that Full-Time RVing has given us the opportunity to visit our family as often as we do. But some of you may think that we visit them more often than is necessary, but we have family all over the country, and if we're going to be near an area or we miss somebody in particular a lot, we're gonna go and visit them when we have an opportunity. Like right now, I haven't seen my grandparents in a year and a half, and I am so excited to go and visit them. And they're really excited to have us over, and I know that if they had it their way, we would actually visit more often. But we really enjoy being out in the middle of nowhere, and we really enjoy being secluded in the woods and visiting family, especially if we're going to be visiting a lot of family in 1 year. It can seem like we're doing nothing but visiting family. So even though we're not spending a ton of time every time we do visit with people, it still feels like we're taking a big chunk out of our year and what we can do during that time. Right after we visit my grandparents, we're going to visit David's brother in Washington, and this is the perfect time of year to visit Washington, but it's also the perfect time of year to visit a ton of other northern states. And when we go and visit his brother, it means we have to skip a lot of that, or we have to try and cram that in before we go there or after we go there while it's still nice. And so it can get really frustrating knowing that going to visit our family means we're gonna miss out on some awesome stuff.
We're just driving down the interstate, and I happen to glance in my side mirror, and I see the trim that protects the hardware for our gutters, and it's just flapping around like crazy. You know, it's the trim that runs all along the length of the roof, right at the very top of the wall. And yeah, so we just pulled over onto the side of the interstate, which I hate doing. It's extremely dangerous because, you know, if someone is, you know, falling asleep at the wheel or something, they can, you know, veer off and smash into you. People have died that way. So we were just really quick. I just pulled it all off, just ripped it off. I didn't care, threw it in the back of the truck, and luckily, I have a lot of that stuff on hand, so I'll be able to replace it, and I've got some black silicone as well. So yeah, great. It's just another thing to do, right? Yay, RVs! We're stopped in Casper, Wyoming. We've traveled roughly 220 miles so far today. We're not quite halfway to our destination yet. We've got another 280 miles or so. Or no, I'm sorry, 360 miles. I don't know where I got 280. Until we get to Idaho Falls, which is where we want to overnight at. And thankfully, the fuel prices here in Wyoming are pretty good. We stopped in Casper because fuel here was $2.70, and the next stop, which was like 100 miles or so, fuel was $2.50. So, you know, we were needing some fuel, not just for the truck, but for us too. So we were able to get it cheap here, so we decided to stop. Jenny's making us some tuna salad sandwiches, thankfully, because we're both starving. We got the pets a little bit of food too, and we let Sweetie out to go potty, so we're all taken care of. We should be able to travel quite a bit longer. But I've got a question for you guys. We keep seeing these tall wooden structures on the side of the highway, like 50 yards or so off of the highway, and we have no idea what they are. They look like this, and we were hoping that someone, I know that one of you guys knows, and you can tell us down in the comments what the heck these things are.
My guess is that they're to block tumbleweeds, but I haven't actually seen any tumbleweeds, so yeah. I'm kind of confused.
I mean, that kind of makes sense, to block tumbleweed, but if that was their purpose, I would expect them to just be full of the stuff.
Yeah,
so,
they're not.
So yeah, help us out, guys. What are these things? The Grand Tetons are right behind us. Man, we were so afraid that we weren't gonna get here until after dark because we got such a late start to the day.
We did.
If you guys follow us, you may be noticing a trend. We get late starts because we're idiots.
Well, we just like sleep.
We do like sleep. But man, I knew this was at the end of our travel day too, and I didn't realize until we were about halfway here. I was like, oh no, like a sense of dread. We might drive through there at night. No, we might miss it, but we didn't. We got here at sunset.
Right at sunset. It's beautiful,
oh
guys.
My gosh, it is incredible.
It's breathtaking.
I was just overcome with the beauty here. It's just so incredible, and just to top it off, the cherry on top, we saw bison.
Yes.
Like for real, we were driving up to this overlook, or this lookout right here, and we're like, oh my gosh, is that bison? That's bison! Off in the distance. And you guys, I don't even know how far away from them we are, but I just told Jenny, I was like, I'm running to them. And don't worry, I kept a very, very safe distance.
They're also in a pen.
Yeah, they're in a pen too. So, but I kept a safe distance. But I got out of the truck and I just started running. And I jogged all the way down to a safe distance from where they were so I could take some video and get some pictures. We've never seen them before. Incredible, incredible. I just could not have asked for a better experience driving through here. And the Shoshone National Forest just before the Grand Tetons was blowing our minds already too. Just incredible, incredibly beautiful forest. We are coming back here.
We have to.
We're coming back later this year, right?
We'll have to see. We have a bunch of friends in Washington, and I've already talked to them about coming back with all of them in either next year or the year later, whenever it's safer to do so, and they're totally for it.
I say we come back whether or not.
Well,
I want to come back.
We can come back without them too, and just see some cool stuff.
Yeah, you guys, it's breathtaking here. This is just, I love you.
I love you too.
We made it to our overnight destination in Idaho Falls, Idaho. We're staying at a Cabela's for the first time. Historically, we've always stayed at Walmart's, but as of late, we've switched to Cracker Barrels. But this is our first Cabela's, and it seems like a pretty popular overnight spot for a lot of other RVers, considering there's 4 others in this parking. No, I think it's 5 including us. Is it 5?
No, because there's that like lifted thing over there.
Well, there's
anyway.
So 6 including us. So yeah, there's a lot of us in here.
I even called ahead of time to double check that we were allowed to stay. And yeah, they were basically just like, yeah, just park as far away as you can. We don't care.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really nice here because they close at 8 p.m. So, you know, there's not going to be anyone driving around and, you know, making noise. So that's going to be really nice. But right after we left the Grand Tetons, we went through what's called Teton Pass. And it was by far the steepest grade up and down we've ever towed through. And let me
10% both ways.
Yeah, let me tell you guys, in that moment, I was extremely happy I had a diesel because even though it even looked like steep, we were like, whoa, okay, this is really steep. But the diesel handled the up and the down, no problem.
It wasn't even all that long, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't the most stressful part of the drive back for me because I was really stressed out there. Trust me, if there was a camera on me, you would have seen me just holding on to the bar in front of me because it was nerve-wracking for me. But David was in full control, and I totally trust him. What I was more afraid of, though, was for the next, how far was that? 40 miles afterwards, maybe?
Yeah.
There were deer, like, every 3 miles on the side of the road.
Yeah, it was nuts, you guys. Like, yeah, Idaho was just full of deer. It was crazy.
It's insane.
But, man, we made it, and we're all tired, sweetie.
And we didn't hit any deer.
I'm tired, too. There's a tired pup also.
Aw.
She's happy to be done, though. She's happy. So are we. Man, yeah, we got a late start to the day, and we hung out in the Grand Tetons National Park for way too long.
Well, okay, we got here over an hour later than we wanted to, or what our schedule was going to do, which means that we were there for over an hour.
Yeah, but it was so epic. So
pretty.
We knew that it wasn't that big of a deal. We just wanted to soak it up, but now we're here. Time to go to sleep.
Yeah. She just leaned into me.
I know. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Overnighting in the Cabela's parking lot, not that bad. It was really similar to the Cracker Barrel, so we were really happy. Jenny and I got pretty decent sleep. We're up fairly early now, and we've got a 340-ish mile drive ahead of us to Payette, Idaho. So it's gonna take us about 7 hours. We're gonna get some food and some coffee because, boy, I need some caffeine, man. I'm dragging. And then we are gonna head out. There's a weird duality that we feel when we visit family because if we go too long without visiting family, then we really start to yearn for that connection with them.
Yeah.
We can only stay out in secluded places out in the middle of nowhere for so long before we really crave it. But it's really weird because we're leaving our happy place out in the forest to go into the city, which is not where we want to be, to visit family, and we love seeing them. But it only takes a few days of being in the city until we're like, oh my gosh, get me out of here, get me back into the woods, get me back into the forest.
Yeah. I would love to visit them more often if it didn't cost a lot of money and fuel to get there.
That's an excellent point. It is rough driving all the way across the country.
Yeah. And it's also really rough when they want to visit us, or we want to visit them when it's not a good time of year to visit. Like the middle of summer in Indiana is scorching, very muggy, very humid. But the middle of winter in Indiana is
also awful.
Also awful. It's very, very cold and snowy. The only great time to visit David's brother in Washington is the middle of summer.
Yeah.
So that's why we go there in like July, August area every year. And visiting your parents in Indiana, we just deal with it. Because there's really no great time of year to visit Indiana. The weather's kind of awful all year long.
Yeah, but by installing that 30 amp plug, now we have air conditioning.
And it will be better.
And we can have electrical heat in the winter, so
True.
It's not gonna be that bad.
It's not gonna be that bad. And so doing little things like that, or our family doing little things like that, does make it easier to visit during the time of year where we wouldn't normally want to visit an area like that. I do wish though in Washington, when we would visit off, like outside of summertime, that it wasn't just so wet. It is so wet all the time. So it makes it harder to visit more often, but I would love to.
Even though we really don't like the cities and we love being out in secluded places in the forests, we still consider it such a blessing that full-time RVing allows us to visit family members across the country that we would otherwise probably very rarely get to see, like my brother in Seattle, Jenny's grandparents here in Idaho, Jenny's dad in California, and your aunt in California.
Yeah, when we had, you know, our 9-to-5 jobs back in Indiana, I had 2 weeks vacation. That's it.
Yeah.
And I had to decide how I wanted to use that. Did I want to go exploring with my husband somewhere?
Oh, Allie's gone. It's like, I'm done.
Or did we want to spend that time to visit family? And we would have to decide, do we want to go visit your brother? Do we want to go visit my dad? If we go visit my dad, are we going to make sure we have enough time there to visit my grandparents and my aunt that are in the area too? Like, what are we going to decide to do with all of this? And so we are so fortunate that the way we choose to live our lives makes it so that we can visit these family members all the time.
Yeah, and especially your grandparents. I think that I mean, Jenny and I have been together for, 11 years now, going on 12?
Yeah, it'll be 12 years.
And during that time, like the first 9 years, because we've been on the road for 3 years, I think I saw your grandparents once for the whole 9 years. But since we've been on the road, though, in these 3 years, we've seen your grandparents a ton.
All the time.
And so getting to spend that time with them is just, it's priceless. So we really feel blessed to be able to spend so much time with them. Yeah. But we're here. It is, I mean, we're all set up and all that stuff. So we're going to go spend that time with them now.
Yep.
Spend the rest of the night with them. It's actually already past their bedtime, I think, but they're gonna stay up a little later to hang out with us. But we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.